Nah, they robbed my boy. They robbed my, hey, yeah. Keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. Yeah. Jermall Charlo gets robbed. He didn't get robbed of a decision, but he got robbed nonetheless. In this video, I'm going to break it down. He got robbed of a rightful, cleaner stoppage because he was putting paws on Cornflake LaManna. In this video, I'm going to break down Jermall Charlo versus LaManna. The fight ended, and I'll let you know what really happened. So you guys should enjoy this video. Now, I just got finished watching Charlo versus Thomas Cornflake LaManna, and I think it's safe to say that Jermall Charlo is back. Jermall Charlo, to me, he looked pretty good considering what he's been through. He's had personal demons, family things. I'm not going to go over his whole life story here, but these different things have kept him out of the ring, and he's had these long pauses and breaks in his career. Even his last fight with Jose Benavidez, you know, he hasn't fought in over a year since that. Before that, he hadn't fought since the Fernando Montiel fight. Make sure you guys subscribe, like. My name is Ego. I cover boxing over 10 years. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. And I give you guys videos like this where I really break it down and let you know what really happened. If you like this format, then make sure you pay it forward and throw a like on the video, share that, leave a comment, that good stuff. So Charlo, I normally do the good, the bad, and the ugly, but this fight didn't really have too much of that. But you know, I could make it work because I'm Boxer Ego. I could make it work. I would say the good for Charlo is we know that Jermall Charlo needed to win the fight. I'm getting ready to watch Caleb Plant. I believe he should win his fight with Resendez, and he's just too experienced and skilled for Resendez, who has no defense to me, but we'll see. But part of it, as of me recording the video, because the Caleb Plant fight hasn't come on yet, but part of the challenge was you've seen in boxing recently where they're kind of foreshadowing fights. I'm not big on that, especially when they do it publicly. Like, you've seen what happened. They're like, oh, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, and Turkey and Ring kept putting that out, that they have signed contracts and they're going to fight in October. Now suddenly Ryan has some kind of surgery on his hand. They said he has hand damage. Oscar De La Hoya, I do believe he's doing interviews saying Ryan should take the rest of the year off and get his mind right. Bro, Ryan is a young fighter, and he already has 2 losses, never been a champion. He took a year off because he popped dirty and was suspended. Now his promoter's telling him to take another year off, basically. I mean, this new generation of boxing is kind of terrible. I'm just being real. But I don't want to go on a whole rant about that. But you see the dangers of putting out there that we want to make this fight if this, then that, right? So the good is Jermall Charlo did win. Make sure, again, you guys like the video. Good thing, great thing is he won. Not just for it keeps the fight with Caleb Plant alive, but just in general, I think he needed a win. I personally love good underdog stories and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, life hit Jermall Charlo hard. So he became kind of an underdog. People were saying he was washed. His last fight, they said he didn't look good. How come Terrence Crawford stopped Jose Benavidez? You're at a higher weight, but you couldn't stop him. And I think people were too critical on that Jose Benavidez fight. So for me, in this fight even, because he's taking these long breaks, I can't really be too critical of Jermall Charlo, because the fact that you're even stepping in the ring with, you know, 2 fights in 4 years or whatever it's been, that's a lot. So I can't, you kind of have to grade on a curve, if you know what I mean. It would be stupid for me to, when I do my commentary, I'm always realistic. And if I have data points and knowledge, which I do because I cover boxing daily, I have to incorporate all of these things into the conversation, period. So that's how I do my commentary. If you don't like it, don't watch. But I got to kind of grade Jermall Charlo's performance on the curve. I guess if I had to make some observations or things to improve. For me, based on how this fight ended, because I do think he was robbed of a more sensational victory. Based on how this fight ended, I kind of wish that he would get another tune-up style fight and then do the Caleb Plant fight. But you know how that goes. It's boxing. If it's next, it's next. So you got to stay ready. That's one, I guess, bad or whatever. The other thing is Charlo looked pretty big. You know, I know he's moved up and he's at 168, higher division. He looked big. I would like to see him a bit more, like before he was like real muscular and shredded and lean and vascular. I didn't see that. He just looked like big. He didn't look like he was in terrible shape. He actually looked better than the Jose Benavidez fight. I will say that. But if you look at his build, it didn't look exactly like earlier Hitman Charlo, like when he's fighting Julian J. Rock Williams. And I think that is achievable. But being out the sport so long, you know, you don't want to just drop a whole bunch of weight. So that's my only real critique. I will say also Charlo looked a little bit slower, but I can't really put too much on that because I don't know how much of that was his patience or potential ring rust. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to have your timing down fully when you've not been fighting frequently. It just is what it is. So that's my only critiques. The bad and the ugly really goes to Cornflake LaManna. And that's a great nickname for him, Cornflake, because how he was fighting, it was corny and he was flaking. It was like, he was a cornflake in there. I did not like his strategy. I did not like his approach, and I did not like what I was seeing from him. Keep in mind, Edeslani Lara knocked him out in one round. I think Charlo, if you were ever to beat Charlo, this would have been your golden opportunity because of his situation and circumstance. So I think LaManna had a real opportunity to try to get something going and stick to a game plan. He came out in the first round. You should have been, I think they said he was on a 9-win streak or something like that since the Lotta fight. You were on a 9-win streak. You didn't been more active than this guy, Charlo, and he was moving. He was moving a lot. And Charlo won every round. Charlo's jab was very impressive. I mean, we knew that the Charlo brothers, both of them, have great jabs, but that was very, very good to see that his jab, he didn't lose that in the inactivity. His jab was crispy, and it was busting up LaManna's face. LaManna didn't really have a game plan. I felt like he should have been pressing in the first 2 rounds. That's your best shot. See what he got. Try to catch him cold. Catch him. He been out the ring. Don't let him work into the fight, which is what I would imagine a fighter would prefer who's been inactive. So the game plan was dumb. I didn't even like what I was hearing from LaManna's Cornflake's corner. They didn't really say anything. They weren't saying anything of note. They weren't saying anything impressive. And again, he was acting like a lunatic where he was getting beat up and battered, but he was showboating like he was really in the fight. I found that to be very weird and off-putting. The fight, it actually reminded me of Roy Jones Jr. versus Vinny Pazienza, but the difference is Vinny Paz had some moments where LaManna really didn't have any moments, but just in the fact of later Roy was tagging, hey, the Pensacola in the hat, didn't I just say that? As it takes into, I wasn't grabbing the rope, chicken fight. Huh, don't do that, right? Roy Jones he started honing in and tagging Vinny Pazienza, and Vinny Pazienza is putting his arms out, shaking his hips, trying to showboat, but you're really losing. You know what I mean? And multiply that by 10. It was that on steroids for Cornflake LaManna. He was out there showboating, but he been dropped multiple times. I don't even remember how many times he got dropped because I'm about to watch the Caleb Plant fight. Multiple times he got dropped. He got hurt. He did the Tootsie Roll. One moment in the fight, he almost got dropped, but he didn't get dropped. And he was getting hurt and stung. His face was battered and bruising up. And he's sitting in here like trying to King Kong it and beat his chest and pound on his chest and like, come on, come on. And Charlo was poised, patient, and nasty. You know, you've seen those hints of what we've always seen from Charlo, the mean streaks. He was punching with authority, punching with confidence, power. You know, he did look a bit slower, but definitely Charlo can build on it. The only thing I would say is Charlo got to get back in the ring. No more dry spells, long breaks. But it was a pleasure to watch. Charlo is a scientist, and all things considered, I got to rate the performance. You don't know how hard that is to bounce back from personal trials and tribulations, and everybody's watching you, and you got to get it right. So I was actually really impressed with what I've seen from Charlo. I think he can lean down a bit more and get into the shape that he used to be in, more power shots, you know, just fine tuned, but he can watch tape and watch himself back and correct those things. So for me, again, I prefer a in-betweener, another this style fight for him, and then fight a guy like Caleb Plant. But, you know, money talks. If the Caleb Plant is next, then it's next. You got to be ready. Boxing is like that. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But very good performance by Jermall Charlo with everything considered. He bounced back, battled demons, suppressed whatever nerves. He didn't get hit with anything silly. His jab was there, sneaky body attack. He bullied LaManna. About the robbing, I started this video saying he got robbed, so I'll close with that. I definitely believe Jermall Charlo got robbed of a clean victory. This was a BS stoppage. The doctor, ringside physician, came in before the round and looked at LaManna. He responded pretty well and then said it's over. He was like, basically told the ref, I don't think he should continue. But what is the point of a ringside physician? I understand protecting the fighter. I understand that. But what is the point of doing the preliminary checkups and stuff, and then if the person responds in the right way, you still say you recommend for the fight to stop? Like, what did you see there? Like, and unfortunately, judges can put out bad scorecards. Ringside physicians are in charge, so they can call a halt to the bout and things like that, and they don't have to explain themselves. So for me, he was definitely losing. LaManna was likely to get knocked out or dropped more time, but it wasn't to a point where that should have been the end of it. Plus, you robbed Jermall Charlo not of just a potential clean stoppage, but going the additional rounds. That's why after you heard Jermall Charlo, he said, "Uck," you know, because I think he was angry with how it kind of played out. Like, yo, like, why'd you stop it right there? I definitely didn't agree with that. I didn't think that it needed to be stopped at that particular moment. So they really robbed my boy Jermall Charlo. Keep running your mouth. I think he could have deserved the extra rounds and a more climactic finish, which I think probably would have presented itself. And then it ends at the doctor's request, telling the referee. That was just corny to me, bro. So I didn't like the stoppage at all. Despite the man was losing, he was hurt, his body wasn't. You could have put it, like what I would have said, and I think this is a happy median, is, hey, you've been getting tore up. This is your last round. Show me something or the fight's over. I would have been perfectly happy with that. And then if he did the stanky leg again, all right, another stanky leg is over. But you just stopped it at a weird time. I hate stoppages like that. And let me get off here because I'm getting mad. That's Jermall Charlo versus Thomas LaManna. What really happened? Subscribe. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.